So I was studying, Wall Street as usual and trading because that's what I do. And today I came across this interview by Humbled Trader, the YouTube channel, and it had so much game in it. I had to show it to y'all about being a successful trader on Wall Street, but everything he was saying was 100% game that everybody needs to know for living in this era in America and dealing with inflation and dealing with trickery of government. All of that, it all applies to how to be successful right now. So let's get into it. First, you got to start with knowing and believing in yourself.
Plus, the other side of the trade added up to almost 10 million shares.
Oh. And what's your education background? Did you have any form?
So first thing you need to know, because everybody has a programmed belief that, or most people believe that you have to have some type of great education, college education to be successful. And as you know, it's not true. It's all about you and what time you put in.
Former education in finance, I guess?
No, I was
No?
just a kid that grew up in a very tough neighborhood in New York City.
Yeah.
And had gambled on anything my whole life, basically. So my background is high school. I graduated high school, and that's it. That's the end of my background. My gut feel
Yeah.
and how my being took to the gambling aspect of this place was extremely important.
Yeah.
To be able to be ambidextrous and have 10 or 20 orders in my hand at every different level really played out very, very well for me. As crazy and as basic as it may sound, it was extremely important for what I developed.
Yeah.
Now here, she asked him, look at her eyes. I have it closed. I have her paused at like the funniest part. But anyway, she asked him what you need to become a great floor broker on Wall Street, and he tells you like the basics. You gotta study charts. You gotta do this, but this comes down to studying your field in life.
You need to know emotions.
Yeah.
You need to know psychology.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing you really need to know and understand is that the algorithms control the stock market. The algorithms,
Yeah.
not the big institutional players, not the huge hedge funds, not anybody. It's the algorithms that control the market.
Now here, I want you to think about social media, news media, everything you come across on a daily basis, and what it's designed to do. Everything you hear is created to get you to click, right? To buy, to have an emotion in you so that you do a certain thing. So you have to study what drives people. And then the art of Wall Street or life is to be able to help and influence others, right? So, or to become successful. So finding out psychology and how people act is going to be key in whatever you do.
What do I mean by that? Well, it's very, very simple. You have premium in a market on a day-to-day basis, premium levels, and you have discount levels. And if the market is moving up towards a premium level,
Yeah.
the algorithms are going to go to that area
Oh, I
to
see.
create liquidity.
Okay.
Conversely speaking, if the market is coming down and the direction is lower,
Yeah.
the algorithms are going to go. They're going to go to that discount area and they're
see.
going to create liquidity. And they're going to create volatility to get the fractions moving. You know, some of the biggest trades are failed breakdowns. I hope I'm not getting too technical.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, for this video, you are, not for me though. But if y'all want to follow up, if y'all are traders, follow up on this interview. You see it. But look, think of your life on social media. If someone makes a post or a headline comes out from CNN and they title it, "This government kills 17 civilians," and then they have this certain picture and it catches your attention, they know you're going to click like, and then you're going to repost it or share it with somebody. And that's what drives the social media or content and money, because the goal of everything is to get you to take an action. So on social media, if you expand this to life, you're presenting something, a product, or you want to buy a product, right? So the best product is not necessarily the one that you're gonna buy. What you're gonna buy or take or spend time with is what's going to catch your attention. Someone might have a great product, but it didn't catch your attention faster or better than the other product caught your attention. Get it?
Some of the
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
some of the.
Yeah.
That's when you should be buying, and everybody else they're pushing out of the marketplace. Sorry,
You
they're
meant Lamborghini. How dare you?
I touched a Lamborghini. I'm sorry. You got to be against the grain in the stock market today, okay?
Yeah.
You don't want to short a failed breakdown in the technical area. You don't want to buy a breakout in the technical area.
Yeah.
You want to do the opposite in those particular areas.
So you see, basically what he's saying is, when everybody's going one way, you go the opposite. And that's how you become part of the people that get great results. When everybody's doing the same thing and it's getting them this average result. Say you want to make money in your sleep. Well, you can't make money in your sleep by clocking in and clocking out. It's impossible. The only way you can make money in your sleep is having investments or having a business that's 24 hours, right? That's making money as you sleep.
If it is, but that to me, if you understand, if you hear what I'm saying and think
Yeah.
about what I'm saying, it will help you down the line dramatically.
Using more technicals, and what kind of asset classes are you trading nowadays?
So here he's going into what he trades, and what I want you to pick up from this is what doesn't make sense to him for this era, 2024, where we're at. What doesn't make sense if you're young and you're trying to create a future for yourself?
I mean, I trade the ES future market only. I've traded billions, seriously, billions of shares of stock. I just don't see the value in buying 500 shares of Microsoft at $330 a share to try to make 50 cents. That's not what I do. That's not the way I think this market should be navigated.
That's a major key. You get that? The America and the establishment and old people are trying to tell young people that the way to get successful is the same way they did it in the 60s, and that we're not in the 60s and 70s no more. You can't work a job for 40 years or 50 years and then have a retirement of all these expensive shares that only get you about what? When you're done working, you'll have maybe a million or something like that at the end of your 401k when you're cashing out. It won't help you in America no more because of inflation. You see the purchasing power of the dollar going down faster and faster. Does it make sense to spend all your time working for $70,000, $100,000, $50,000, $150,000 per year for 40 years, and then putting a little of that into a 401k that's usually over time is going to go up, but you're going to have to suffer through. This year the market went down 15%, next year it went up 10%. You don't want to have to keep going like this on your path to retirement. You want to take control of your money and take control of your life and future. If you're like me and you don't want to depend on anybody else you don't want to depend on an employer that can lay you off at any time. You rather take the risk while you're young to learn skills that can make you money while you sleep, and learn skills that can print you money every day, because the market's open every day. Well, 5 days a week in the US, but there's other markets that are open. Now, the same things that help you in trading are going to help you in life. Managing emotions. Check this out.
And how do you help the traders you trade with, whether it's futures or any asset class? How would you recommend traders to deal with psychology and managing their emotions?
Yeah. Emotions are the whole deal. You need to stay centered. Stay centered. You know, if you get yourself in trouble, and everybody does, and whether you're long and you're getting killed, or whether you're short or you're getting killed, whatever it is, you can get yourself out of it. You can get yourself out of it, but if you're not focused, if you're not centered, it's going to be very difficult. You have to think like a criminal. A criminal.
Is that how the stock market works? Okay, please tell us.
Well, I'm not saying everybody's a criminal. Don't get me in trouble. But what I am saying is you have to think like a criminal.
Okay.
Because if you think like a criminal, the emotions will not get the best of you.
Now, here's an example of thinking like a criminal. Now, I'm not a Republican or Democrat. This is just money and math. Why would the U.S. government ship in a bunch of undocumented workers and people to the United States and then have everybody fighting against each other and make it into this big thing? Well, it makes perfect sense. All new U.S. jobs since the COVID crash have gone to foreign-born workers. Now, look, if the United States population and Western population overall, even outside of the U.S., is not having enough kids to replace their population, the multinational corporations and the federal government that pay attention to statistics are like, well, we need more tax revenue to support all this spending and to support all the people of our populations that are aging. So we need to create more. We need to either have more babies, which are not, because people have fertility problems now, or we need to import people. So we import people. Now, I want you to look at this. These are foreign-born workers versus native-born workers. Native-born workers still haven't reached the level that we had pre-COVID, which is crazy. Why? Because now we have a bunch of new part-time jobs. So what you're going to find out is that all these jobs that they're talking about that have gotten created, there's no net new full-time jobs since COVID. Check it. Oh, they don't even have it on this one. I got it somewhere else. 1 second. Oh, here it is. They got it. Job changes. Full-time jobs from March to December. Full-time is still decreasing. Part-time and multiple job holders are increasing. So we're not creating real productive economy. We're creating gig work. And I'm sure a lot of people know about that. So a criminal will tell you, well, we're doing it because everybody deserves to have a chance in America. We're here for asylum for everybody. But really, it's about mathematics. It's about math, money. Notice where all these people are getting shipped to. They're getting shipped to all the places that Americans are fleeing. So New York is having a population decline because their government's already taxed the hell out of them and their businesses. California, they're getting population decline. Chicago, people fleeing. This is where we send all the undocumented workers who now are becoming government workers. They're now opening it up so that they can serve on government. They can be police officers and get government jobs. And that's how this goes. And then you make them voters. This is just math and thinking like a criminal. This is what's going to get you out of emotions about arguing about Republicans and Democrats, because they both allow it to happen. So again,
criminal.
Okay.
Because if you think like a criminal, the emotions will not get the best of you.
I see.
If you can figure out what they're trying to do to make you emotional.
I see.
All right? What they're trying to do to make you emotional, all right? You're going to be way ahead of the game.
So remember, like criminals do, what's going to happen next? They're going to say, we don't have enough money to support this. We need more money, right? Because interest rate cost of servicing the debt is so expensive, they have to cut or they have to print new money and hyperinflate away the currency, meaning your purchasing power goes down. Now, they're gonna run a candidate that's gonna threaten the people and tell them, if you don't vote for me, we're gonna have to cut. Those lousy Republicans are gonna cut the stimulus that we give y'all and the benefits that we give y'all. And the Republicans gonna say, we've gotten this problem from spending too much money in the first place. We need to cut spending. See? So now they've got you in a spot where you have more people than you even have productive jobs for. So now they're going to make y'all fight against each other, you and the migrants, over a shrinking budget. So you take your attention off them and they have you fighting the migrants. No, think like a criminal. You need to think higher and above. You need to be like, okay, I see the game. So I know they're going to print more money, which means I'm going to be able to buy less and less. So I need to think of ways to create businesses and streams of income that don't require me working 8 hours a day to get a paycheck. So your 8 hours a day that you have to get from a job, a lot of people do, you're going to need to take that income and figure out what to do with it to create more income. You can't just take the 8 hours of job pay and then spend it on necessities, because you're going to do that forever. Don't y'all want to retire? I know I want to retire, but they got you in a trap, so you got to learn new skills. Remember that. So here is another great lesson. Here he's going to talk about trading, but this is life in general. Let's say now you know you need to do something. You need to start a new hustle. Well, a lot of people quit too early. You haven't even really done it day after day after day for enough time to reap the results. So you could be good or great, but you never gave yourself a chance. Check it.
Okay.
But there's certain rules of money management that you need to adhere to. And you need to have a tolerance for how much money you're willing to risk on a trade.
Yeah.
And that's important. So if you're willing to risk $250 on a trade, fine.
Yeah.
Then protect yourself down $250. But you need to know this before you make your initial bet.
I see.
Because if you don't, sometimes if you don't give it enough room, if you don't give the trade enough room to develop, you know, you could be wrong and right at the same time.
I see. Or like you can get taken out, you're wrong.
Correct.
And then the trade ends up working in your favor.
Exactly in your favor. So it's very important to identify those areas that make you comfortable. But again, you need to give the trader some time to develop sometimes.
Takes
You
time to
can't just be afraid out of it.
So here we're going to get into his recommendation, trading or buying, holding for the long term. And you got to think, if you're young in America and you have access to the stock market, like, you got to think, we know we need money now. So
we talked a lot about trading. What's your opinion on investing? Should people watching this who are brand new, should they start with trading or investing? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I've been on both sides of the fence. As I mentioned, I've traded literally billions and billions of shares, billions.
Yeah.
And right now, I think the way to be, and I know people think, oh, day traders. I don't believe that at all.
Right.
You know, my company is named LPQ, Limited Exposure, Prevent Blowups, which is the one thing every master trader will tell you. If you can prevent blowups, you're way ahead of the game. That's why I developed this company. I'm a firm believer that day trading can be conquered. I see it. I do it every day.
Yeah.
My partners and I do it every day. My subscribers are off the charts happy because of the plan we put in place. So I'm saying to you, this market is very volatile, and to try to learn on the fly with this kind of action going on and volatility, it's very difficult. Listen, this could change, but as of now and from in a foreseeable future, day trading this market is the way to be.
See, if you can turn 5 into 10, or turn 50 into 100, or turn 100 into 300, and prevent the big blowups, it's not really hard to win. What's so hard is to cut losses early and make your losses small, you're gonna win. But it's the losses that keep most people unprofitable. So that's what he's telling you. You have to be able to take risks in today's world. Buying and holding for the future is good. You can take your regular income and contribute some of that. But if you can learn how to flip money, it doesn't have to be on the stock market. Any way that you can put your mind to flip money and then invest it for your growth of your savings like that way, then you're good.
That's my opinion.
So you don't believe in buy and hold or like long-term investing?
I mean, dividend-paying stocks. Obviously, I'm an owner of IBM, acting very, very well.
Yeah.
The yield is almost 5%. Why would they want to buy the stock market if you can get 5% for nothing when they're making you crazy? Those are some of the things that I look at. I'm saying, what do I want to buy this for? What do I want to buy that for? What do I want to tie up this kind of capital? I want to keep the capital moving. And I think that day trading this market is the way to do it in the environment that we're in.
Richie?
It is not a sprint. This is not a sprint if you want to roll in this market. It's a marathon. And you should be conscious of the fact that it's methodical. Don't think that there's any, get-rich-quick schemes here in the stock market. Yeah. It's not. But a lot of young people coming in, word of mouth, everybody's got something to say. Oh, I made this. Oh, I made that. You don't know what they made, okay? You really don't know. Yeah. But I tell you that you need to be prepared and you need to study. And there are a lot of ways you could do it, okay? But don't think you're going to come in here and get rich quick. Doing this, because they'll chop you up, they'll take your money
for sure,
and Shay, you should know that better than most. Yeah, they'll take your money.
Humbled after all. Yeah.
So if you're like me, you got the message, and you know that we don't want to be slaves forever. You know what I'm saying? We want to escape the matrix, right? So, or else we're gonna end up like Camron was talking about.
I could be sitting in traffic for an hour and a half to go work for somebody that I know I'm smart in for 8 hours, and then go back home in the same hour and a half traffic to only go to sleep to do that again the next day. Yeah. When you know you're smarter than the nigga that you work for. So if I just got to take a picture and hug somebody and give somebody a $5, bet. Yeah. Because it could be way, 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 way worse, man. It's nothing worse than working for somebody you know you're smarter than, and you got to act like they're smarter than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was probably the most annoying shit in the world. I wouldn't know. It's like one of my worst nightmares in the world. Like, wake up out of cold sweat, like, oh shit, I thought I was working for somebody. And that shit is scary. Yeah. But at the end of the day, serious. It's like, dead ass. So, that's why I said thank God. No, that's why I said thank God, Joe. Like, I know I joke a lot, but I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah, so that's all for today. I hope you get the message with that. The game is J Midnyte, Midnyte Hustle everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Beats, music, and the game. Peace out.